So they did that. The officer responded. That next day, I went to the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation in Long Beach, I believe. I went there and I spoke with the agent at the desk, at the front desk. And he just briefly looked over the issue but kind of said that he couldn't do anything about it. He really completely blew it off. Once I left the station, the building, they turned it up a notch. The Todds. And I call this group of individuals Todds. I gave them that acronym for a reason. TOD. Threats of death. And as this story goes on, and I reveal some of these other things that have taken place over the last 5 months, you'll understand exactly why that's the best thing to call them. That's the most fitting. But these ties, they turned it up a notch. So they turned it up a notch. That night, I ended up going to the hospital. And I went to Kaiser Permanente. I was trying to remember off of which highway, but that doesn't matter anyhow. I got an EKG, blood work, and a urine sample. Everything came back negative. Everything came back negative. Or within limits or negative, because a EKG is not positive or negative. That next day, as I'm realizing this is turning into like a problem that's bigger than me, now I'm like, well, I'm going to go to Arizona, link up with my family there, and then go home, like fly home to Ohio. But in the meantime, I'm going to get rid of my vehicle so that I can't be spotted. Because like I didn't tell you this part, but no matter which side of town I was on, whether I was in South in Bellflower or Anaheim, North in Glendale or near Pasadena, Hollywood, Studio City, out east, Victorville, east, Santa Monica, just along the coast, no matter where I was, these people show up. And the plate numbers are still like, I'm adding on and adding on. So now, I'm sorry, I'm just paying attention to what they're saying. Give me 1 second. So I go and I get with Raul because Alice is in Texas. But before she left for Texas this time around, she did give me a key to her place in the event that I needed to stay there. Thank you, Alice, for being such a pleasant spirit. And George. I can't leave George out. But anyhow, I go and I get with Raul. And I'm like, Raul, you can have my vehicle. You can have it. Just give me yours. And I'm going to get out of here. I got to go. I actually went and met him at work that day. And, we exchanged everything, cleaned out the trunks, blah, blah, blah. And let me tell you how right now we're going to be getting into how they frame people. The entire time, the 2 days that I had been staying at Raul's place, they kept on saying, you don't know who he really is. You don't know this. You don't know that. Let me break down the setup. Here's Alice's house. Here's her neighbor, which is Raul's sister's house. She's super sweet. And right behind her house is his house. So him and his sister are on the same property, the same piece of land, same property, you know. Okay, that's the setup. They've been saying this entire time, you don't, he's not who you think he is. And the crazy part is, I know exactly who this man is. And his place is supposed to be something like a safe haven. Because he's in a witness protection program. I wasn't even safe there. They follow me there, they watching it, and they spying, they commentating the entire time that I'm at his place. And this man is on a witness protection program. Now, if that can be violated, where am I safe? If there's no barrier there, where am I safe? They thought that I would blame this next series of events that took place on him. They thought that they thought that these events would make me think that he had something to do with it. So we exchange cars. I drive down to Oceanside. About an hour and a half into the drive, something blows through the vents. Something blows through the vents of his vehicle. And it makes me a little dizzy and pretty disoriented. I pulled over at a La Quinta Inn. And I stayed put for like 2 or 3 hours. When they start checking back the surveillance of these places that I'm identifying, they'll be able to see all that. Like, I literally just stayed put. I parked the vehicle, got out, went inside, sat right in the lobby for 2 or 3 hours straight. Once I felt like I could drive again, I went back to the vehicle first. When I went back to the vehicle, right as I was opening up the door, they attempted to smother me. Now, this is where it gets bad. Like, this is where I'm starting to think to myself, like, this is getting really fucking bad. And the entire time, they're steady telling me, you're going to learn to shut your mouth. The entire time, they're steady telling me, you're going to learn to shut your mouth. So they were mad that I had been telling people what they were doing to me. No one else tells. When they tell these people to shut up and don't tell nobody what happened to them, no one says anything. And you never get shit solved by not saying nothing. That's not how you solve a problem. That's how you let people get over on you. And it happens to other people. It happens to good people. I'm a good person. Had somebody else said something, the shit probably wouldn't have happened to me. So anyhow, I sit still for 2.5, 3 hours. I get up, I go to the car. When I go to the car, as I'm opening this door, they smother me. Now imagine, nothing's there. No one's there. Well, they're there. The Todds, but It feels like a piece of plastic. I had my mouth shut. And this is why it scared me so bad. Because I had my mouth shut. It feels like a piece of plastic went right across my nose. And since my mouth was closed, when I breathed in, it smothers you. And it smothers you in a way that if something like that happens, you almost can't open your mouth. It's difficult to open your mouth if something like that happens. When that happened, I turned around, went right back inside, and sat still for a while longer. I made a couple of phone calls and actually decided to go back because now I'm like, first of all, when I gave him my vehicle, I told him I would mail him the title. But now I realize that there's things in my storage unit that I need. And that this vehicle is not going to get me where I have to go anyhow. So I have to go back north, switch vehicles again, and give it another try. But everything changed. My entire plan ended up changing. So when this happened, now I'm finally, like I said, I sat still a little while longer. So now I'm finally like, okay, let me get out of here and get moving after I made a couple of phone calls. I get on the road and they're right behind me in a dent marks truck. Dent marks truck. Like not truck, but like the little thing that looks like a Pt.E cruiser, but it's like the bigger version of a Pt.E cruiser kind of with dent marks on it. Not with dent marks on it, but it's a dent marks vehicle, the company. And as soon as I spotted them, they hurry up and took off, got off at an exit. So now I'm like, let me find the nearest police station. I'm just going to go in. I'm going to take all this stuff in. I got all this evidence. I got plate numbers. I got this report I've been keeping. It's got all the details of what's been going on a day-to-day basis, like everything. So I turn around. I go to find the police station. As I'm going to the police station, another vehicle with an albino female in it. She's younger. She's probably mid-20s. She's wearing glasses as well, but she's wearing like one of those hats, like a black hat that has a whole lot of material left over. One of those type of hats. And she's flying. We're flying like through traffic, me and her. Because I'm trying to catch her. And she got away. Because it was like pretty jam-packed on the road we were on. So now I'm back to getting to the police station. Once I get there, I go in and I talk to this guy. And the whole time they're taunting me. You know, like, they're like, well, you've tried every place like up north. And, you know, they ain't been doing nothing. But surely this place is going to do something. This place did nothing either. But first they made it seem like this place would have to do something because they've gotten caught there before doing things. That's how they made it seem. That's how they made it seem. The guy pretty much referred me back to, or recommended that I go back to the stations in one of the other counties. As soon as I walk out the police station, when you come out of this police station, it's like a weird, not even an intersection. I can't call it an intersection, but it's just a weird setup. You drive out and then there's like a road going this way, one coming the opposite. Then it peels off and peels off a couple other ways. It was a weird setup. But As soon as I left out of the police station, they gave me a proposition. Because first of all, they thought that there was an attachment to the vehicle. They were so shocked that I gave it away. So now there's a white BMW, another white one, sitting over here in this parking lot, right off outside the police station. That's mine if I take it and agree to let them continue to stream my showers, to live stream my showers. That's the proposition. It's yours if you say you're okay with this. Fuck no, I'm not okay with this. And I drive off. So now they're like, well, so I drive off and we're like, or I'm like, they're like, well, since that didn't work, well, okay, it's cool. Like, bye. It's been fun. We just were picking with you. This is what they're saying. But it wasn't over. So this is like their second time acting like they were going to leave and they didn't. Because they just kept making it seem like, you know, they were going to quit doing this. When they really had no intentions on quitting doing this at all. So I get on the road. Now I'm on the expressway. Driving back north. And as I get closer into the city, they're telling me this, they're giving me this whole rundown about this guy. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back. I need to back all the way up. So this is when it came together.